Oh, all right, ladies and gentlemen, lovely to see you again. Connor Rhodes from Slim Society, here today to review an article sent to me by a member of the public about 10,000 steps per day and a Harvard scientist saying that it's not the secret to better health, as you might have seen in the title. So let's take a little look at this. Shall we? Let's review this article sent to me by a member of the public. It's in Popular Science. If you have any articles that you would like me to review, or you have any comments or questions about this, leave them on below, wherever you're watching or listening. Let's jump straight in, shall we? Let's jump straight in. Why 10,000 steps a day isn't the secret to better health. This epidemiologist proved 10,000 steps is a lie. Dun, 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 by Claire Maldarelli, a good name, and then someone looking steppy and sweaty. Here we go. Quote by Renaud Vigurt, possibly getting that wrong. There's no magic number of steps that can ensure your heart health. Well, I agree, Renaud. Stepping's not magic, is it? I'm in Lee, an epidemiologist at Harvard University School of Public Health, a good school. Here's her tale from the field as told by Claire Mandarelli. Thank you. A few years ago, my workplace had a competition where we all got fitness trackers, formed teams, and raced to accumulate the most overall steps. The article reads, many people were taken aback when they found that they weren't easily reaching their coveted 10,000 strides, a number wellness apps promote as a standard goal for good, even optimal health. It is often promoted as a goal, that's true. I have studied the role that physical activity plays in preventing disease for a long time, and it made me wonder, where did that number come from? It turns... They seem to be missing a word here. Out that, I assume that's supposed to say, it turns that, they've written, but it turns out that in 1965, a Japanese company called Yamza Clock created a personal fitness pedometer called the Manpo Kai, or K, not sure on pronunciation, which means the 10,000 step meter. The Japanese character for 10,000 looks almost like a person walking or running, the article reads. I can't confirm whether that's true or not. I can confirm, though, that this is true about in 1965, the company creating a step meter for you, as I found the actual advert for you here. Accordingly, this is the advert. Found this in an old article from The Guardian. All right, then. So here we go. It turns out that Japanese company Yamza Clock first created this idea because 10,000 steps almost looks like a person walking or running, and that is likely how the gadget maker landed on the name and the number. It's also an easy goal to remember, I agree, especially when accompanied by a sketch of a person who's literally walking. But that benchmark wasn't based on any scientific evidence, the article reads, and that's true. At that time in 1965, I do not believe there was any evidence for 10,000 steps doing anything good for you. It probably just sounded cool, and it's a nice, well-rounded number, which I agree. Even today, few studies have looked at the connection between steps and overall health. There are studies, though, that look at this. I've got one coming up for you. Of course I do. After my work completion, she says, I decided to do my own research. I found that in older women, half that number of footfalls, interesting choose of word there, I just said. Interesting choose of word for me too there, Rhodes. Half that number of footfalls, 4,400, still lowered their risk of death, and that benefit tapered off at around 7,500. That is actually true. That's what I've got to show you here, actually. Look at this. Of course I do. This is from the actual study. This is a simplified graph made from the data from this study. You can see down the left-hand side it says hazard ratio for all-cause mortality. All-cause mortality means all forms of death. All-cause mortality. Let's look at the actual definition of mortality, shall we? Mortality, there we go. The state of being subject to death, or death, especially on a large scale. All right, so it's all cause death, all chances of dying. And you can see here that if you do, let's say somewhere around 2,000 steps or something like this, that's taken as the starting point of your chance of death being 1 on the scale, or neutral on the scale, just normal on the scale, let's call it. And then at the bottom you can see mean steps per day. Mean means average, so then there's somebody's average steps per day going across 3,000, 4,500, 6,000, 7,500, this kind of game. And you can see the all-cause mortality, the average chance of dying, goes down the more steps somebody does, up until it gets to about, so you can see it starts to fade around 5,000 there, maybe, would that be? 5,500 or something, and then you can see as it gets to 7,500, you can see that quite rightly, as according to the article, what did it just say? Let me switch back to the other one. Still lowered their risk of death, but the benefit tapered off at around 7,500. Yes, that's true. Look, let's look at the data. Down, 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 down. Then it gets to around 7,500, and then it is still slightly decreasing the more steps you do there. But as you can see, you do get the most benefits going from 0 steps to around 5,000. This will help you loads, and you can get a little bit more benefit. You can live a little bit longer by doing 7,500 steps per day on average. And then bumping it up doesn't have any appreciable or seemingly appreciable, at least not consistently appreciable, increased effect on all-cause mortality. And I will say that that is literally only all chances of dying, isn't it? This is not... These are not the only benefits. But anyway, let's carry on reading the article, and then I will talk to you a little bit more about that. Oh, that's the end. All right then. That's the end. All right then, let's just talk about it then. There's still more work to do with a different age group, but it's safe to say that 10,000 is no magic number. All right, let me switch you back to the full screen there. So that's true, as you've seen the data yourself. That is true, that the 10,000 step number did appear as an arbitrary number at the start, decided by some company, and then people have kind of ran with it. Probably because it's just a nice, well-rounded target, isn't it? It just sounds kind of good. It's easy to remember and aim for. And then yes, it is true that for your chance of dying, 10,000 isn't a magic number, but it does help towards quantity of life clearly as you approach 10,000 steps. And then what's special about 10,000? Nothing specifically, it's just a nice well-rounded number. Do I give my clients a goal of 10,000 steps per day? Sometimes I do. We set more specific step targets than that though. Like if you come to me doing 4,000 steps per day, I'm not just going to set you a target, or really, unless you're very confident in it, allow you to set yourself a target of 10,000 steps per day. I'd rather, if you do 4,000 steps per day, that we just start on 6,000, 6,500, something like this, a smaller increase. Then we'll aim for, if you want to, 7,500 maybe for a few weeks. Then we'll bump it up. Maybe we'll go for 8,000 or 9,000. And I also appreciate ranges as well as types of goals, rather than just you will do this specific number every single day. Often it's better to have a calorie range target or an average over time target. Like some of my clients have a target of 70,000 steps per week that averages at 10,000 per day, because what if you do a long walk on a weekend? Can that make up for it? Yes, it can. Another little piece of advice though is the point of this video, despite what the article thinks, the point of this video between me and you here, people looking for health and happiness and people trying to improve our health and fitness and quality and quantity of life, is not to just do 7,500 steps and just think, oh, well, that's good enough. I mean, because in some ways it is, yes, that will seemingly, according to this one study, help you towards better quality and quantity of life. But also, the more steps you do across a lifespan, the more fitness you will build, also the more calories you will burn, 10,000 steps per day burns approximately 1/3 more calories than 7,500 steps per day, doesn't it? And if you do 15,000 steps per day, is this helping you stay alive through all-cause mortality seemingly longer or better? Maybe not, but is it still burning more calories? Is it going to still help you towards your weight loss goals? Is it still going to increase your fitness? Yes. Is it still going to have positive impacts on your mental health? Yes, it is. It's not all about just what this one study shows. So if you can do more, do more. Get outside, enjoy the weather, walk, hike, walk your dogs, spend time with your family, be outside, enjoy the nice weather. Hopefully you've noticed over the last few days, not today, it's a little bit grey outside, but if you live in England where I am, it's been nice over the last few days. It's been nice weather, and if you've got out there, you will have enjoyed it and you will have felt better in more ways than just all-cause mortality improvement, won't you? So do what step count you can, aim for those increases. If you're doing 5,000, that's normal, I would say. That's average for a Western person. If you're doing 7,500, that's great for your health, as you've seen. If you're doing 10,000, that is powerful. Now you're burning calories. Now you're moving. You're burning extra calories. You're moving a little bit further. This is good. Keep building. Keep doing what you can. Stay positive. Keep moving forward. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'll speak to you and I'll see you again soon.